Hello and welcome to the Kuribros, a Yugi Anime recap podcast. I'm your host Phoenix, and I don't have any witty intros today, so instead we're just going to watch a video. Joining me, my co-host Andy. How you doing?
What video are we watching?
Bill Nye. We got a couple of those tapes. We're going to wheel the card out for all the kids.
It's like a hungover teacher. It's like, I don't know what to do today.
Yeah, it's raining and we're going to go to recess, but
We can't go outside, so it's going to be, you're going to learn about gravity.
science rules.
That was always fun when we were growing up.
Yeah.
It was always a good day when Bill Nye the Science Guy would come on.
Yeah.
I remember one of the funniest things I thought when I was a little kid when that show was, like, I still think about it to this day some days, but it's not as funny now. But when I was a kid, there was something about, I guess, what would happen if we didn't have, it was like wood or something. It was like talking about the importance of either structural materials or something. And they did like little skits of things that would just disappear in like funny ways. And the one that was the funniest to me as like an 8-year-old was like a dog, like a doghouse got disappeared and started chasing Bill Nye down the street. And and he ran in a kind of a funny fashion.
You know, if we didn't have any wood, he wouldn't hear the dog coming because there wouldn't be any bark.
Just think about that all on your own.
Yes.
You're so smart.
Yeah. Also very funny the idea that if we didn't have wood, like the history of humanity would be like, well, we don't have anything for this, so we just won't try any other substitutes. What about stone? Nah.
I mean, I could be like misremembering the context a little bit, but I do remember a dog was being held back by something. It disappeared and chased Bill Nye down the way. So I'm trying to just kind of like piece that context together, like what the show would be about.
We're not here to talk about science guys. We're here to talk about magic guys.
Well, we're like card guys.
Magic card.
Trap card. Monstacado.
We're not there yet.
We're not?
No.
They don't do that in the sub?
No, we don't draw Monstacado yet.
Really?
No, I'm joking about the future thing that you always like to go off on from Waking the Dragons.
Oh, that one. Yeah, well, we're not there yet. That was spoilers. Well, this show's ruined now.
That's why I said we're not there yet. You made me explain it. Cut this out. Start the video over.
Yeah, we're ruined. It's written out. I'm keeping this. So last episode, we covered a great duel.
Yeah.
Between Joey versus Merrick. And we didn't like the outcome, but the story has the story, and the Millennium guys have to duel each other. So you'll probably guess what happens at the end of this episode.
Some Millennium guys duel each other.
Well, kind of technically.
Yeah.
In a way, yeah. Because in this episode, we'll be covering Yugi versus Kaiba. Again. For the third time?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think the last time. Well, no, not the last time. Because we'll cover him in 2 movies then.
Yeah. But it is wild to think that, like, this great rivalry, and this is often the case with many older animes, like the great rivalries, the rivals don't actually face each other all that much, like 3 times in the series and then 2 movies.
Yeah, and only really, I mean, I don't know if you really want to count the one movie as like canon or one of those like kind of like off. Well, you could, I guess, count it.
Well, in the one movie, it's not even Pharaoh.
Well, there's at one point there is, but I guess that's a simulation.
Yeah, I don't count that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I guess that's right, but I guess I still count Yugi and Pharaoh together. It's still, I think Yugi rides the ship in some way, shape, or form. I don't know. But, I mean, that is kind of the way it has been with, I think, a lot of shonen manga. I mean, Vegeta and Goku only fought, like, what? Twice? Well, 3 times, I guess, if you count Superhero, and if you want to count that Vegeta win at the end.
Yeah.
But it's not that much, and the third one was only a few years ago. And then thinking about, like, what, Naruto? Sasuke and Naruto fought, what, 3 times in that?
Maybe 4?
Yeah. So, I don't think the rival, like, but, you know, the thing is, it's not about the quantity of the fights, it's about the quality of the fights. And as I can recall, we both very much loved the last 2. Well, especially the last one, but we very much enjoyed the Yugi, Seto, Kaiba matchups. And this one is really no different.
Yeah. We get
probably
to see
the best of the ones.
Kaiba ego on full display from the start.
It's truly like kind of the swan song of this Is that the right term? The swan song of this arc, because this duel might be better. I mean, we'll have to get there, but it might be the best duel of this whole arc of Battle City Finals. And I mean that just because, like, this was 6 episodes long and I wasn't bored through any of them. Like, I was engaged the entire time, which is nice, because I don't always say that, especially when sometimes I always can, like, point out, oh, this could have been, like, 2 episodes, because there's a point in one of those episodes where I feel like I just kind of channel out because it's just not important.
I think this could have been 5 episodes, because there is a lot of flashbacks.
How many? Well, yeah, there's a decent amount, but I kind of forgive it because I think the relevance of the flashbacks kind of work in some cases, maybe more than others. Some of them are admittedly probably a little just in there because they don't know what else to do and they just need to reuse animation.
Yeah, there's definitely reusing animations where Kaiba's talking about something in the present, but we're seeing, like, the flashbacks of, like, the museum with its tablet. And, like, you could have just shown me, like, reuse shots of, like, the actual arena they're in now.
Yeah, but I didn't mind the ones where they're showing, like, the beginning of Battle City and stuff and all that. I think that was okay, considering all the context of it being 6 episodes. It paced fine for me. Maybe it could have been 5 episodes. I'm sure it could have been 4, because, I mean, I'll talk about the one episode, but there's one episode that kind of is really just, like, extending the fight a lot compared to what the manga is. But it has kind of good reason to, because it extends, like, one of the cooler parts of the show. It's one of the episodes I cover.
I was just double checking some effect stuff for the previously mentioned Dark Paladin, and I'll bring it up probably later, but Dark Paladin has a bit more similarities to a modern day Dark Magician card than I once realized.
Really? Well, I guess that would make sense, because it seems like it would probably, like, Dark Magician and its meta kind of needed a boost to stay somewhat relevant.
Yeah, and they may have gone too far in that direction at one point with the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon.
Oh, yeah. But they have, like, a bunch of different stuff now. Don't they have that one where it's, like, it was, like, a big chase card, one of the most recent sets, the Blue Eyes White Dragon one with, I think, Magician of Black Chaos. And
that was a big chase card only really in the English release as far as I know, because that card is very particular in how you get it out and make it useful, which, to be fair, a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Boss monsters are that way, and whether or not they're worth it is up to your interpretation, but I think that card is far too expensive for what it actually does and ease of getting it out.
It's definitely kind of the show tax or whatever. Like, it's like waifu tax, but just show.
Yeah, it's anime tax.
Because it's the anime tax. That's a good way to put it.
But Red Eyes Dark Dragoon was, like, the easiest and most powerful one of those type things.
But, like, actually one that could be playable.
Yeah, and they also unbanned it on Master Duel super recently. So
really?
I've been using it.
Oh, man, you cheap motherfucker, probably.
Yeah, I don't even... So Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, obviously it's like Red Eyes Black Dragon, Dark Magician.
Mm-hmm.
You can summon it without having either of those monsters in your deck. That's not as powerful as it could be, but it still does its job fine.
That's good. I like that. I like that there's a little bit of a Yu-Joe friendship meta going on there.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's certainly more playable than Mirage Knight or Dark Flare Knight.
Damn, those monsters were, like, one and done in the anime.
Yeah, they were bad.
They're not. Yeah, they weren't that good, especially in the filler.
Yeah, you want to fuse Dark Magician with this borderline okay fusion monster, Flame Swordsman.
And that's the funny thing, is in the show it's not even a fusion monster.
Yep.
For some reason. I don't know why.
They've made main deck versions of Flame Swordsman, like Blue Flame Swordsman, but I don't think they ever had a main deck one that was like, this card's name is treated as Flame Swordsman, like they do for some other stuff.
They should just do it.
Yeah.
Like, it might as well.
Well, Flame Swordsman already got its archetype boost stuff recently, so that's its own thing, but I'm annoyed whenever they make new support stuff and I think, oh, this would be a cool deck to run. It's like, nope, this is just support for some other bullshit that was already fine without it. I was like, come on, man, just play the new cool thing as a new cool thing.
Like, I think a lot more people would probably come back to the game if they actually supported some of those other cards that some people need some familiarity with. I did happen to see, because I was looking something up with Dark Paladin today, there's a, I guess, newer Blackluster Soldier ritual card. It's like Ritual Soldier Legendary Swordsman.
Yes.
Is that like this year new?
It's not this year new. It's the newest Black Soldier or Blackluster Soldier.
So is that like getting like a boost in its meta, like those cards?
Blackluster Soldier keeps coming back every now and then with like some new ritual support, because there's like a bunch of Blackluster Soldier rituals, like Blackluster Soldier, there's Super Soldier, there's like Supreme Soldier, Chaos Soldier, Blackluster Super Soldier, there's the Link Monster Blackluster Soldier, there's the normal one, there's Legendary Swordsman, there's Toon Blackluster Soldier, there's Envoy of the Beginning, which is arguably like the original best one.
Oh yes, the OG got banned, didn't it? No, it didn't get banned. The other one got banned, but
Chaos Emperor got banned.
But it got limited?
Yeah, it's back now because they realized that the game changed so far that it's not as much of a threat anymore. There's the Soldier of Evening Twilight. There's the little support bastards that are like the little soldiers of like Twilight and Dawn or whatever the hell. Also, I was wrong. I just checked. There was a significant price drop. If you want a... Hang on.
Are you looking at the Blue Eyes card? Whatever?
Dragon Master Magia is the monster, and I was wrong about being wrong. I'm seeing a lot of listings that are for not English versions of it, despite me having the English search thing on, so it should only present me with those options.
Oh, like on TCG Player?
Yeah. If you want a near mint first edition, quarter-century secret rare Dragon Master Magia, which is the only rarity it's been printed at, $849.99.
Seems a little steep for a card you can't play.
Yeah.
It's a cool-looking card, though.
Oh, it absolutely looks cool.
But, like, I feel like there needs to be some sort of playability for the price.
Yeah.
I would say. But who knows? Either way, speaking of Blue Eyes and Dark Magicians and all that stuff, do we want to get started with the duels?
Yeah, sure. We vamped far longer than I thought we would.
Oh yeah, but you know what? We have a lot to talk about. We have to go through 6 episodes, and how many chapters is this? So it's from 192 all the way to like 203.
Yeah.
So whatever that math is.
11.
There you go. That's math. Sounds like math to me. I don't know math. I read at a first grade level. Anyway, I'm going to start this off with the first 3 episodes, starting with episode 129, which covers chapters 192 to 194. We open the episode to Seto Kaiba patiently waiting for his...
I was wrong. It's 12 chapters.
Well, that's staying in. We open the episode to Seto Kaiba patiently waiting for his rival to appear so they can have their fated rematch to see who's truly better of the two. Yami arrives just in time as the proctor was like saying he's got 2 minutes to be here, I guess to like have tension at the beginning. I don't know.
Oh, there was nothing like that in the sub.
Well, they probably had to just say something to make it sound cool. I
think the proctor like disappears from shots as they lose relevance.
I know. He's like there at the beginning and then you never see him again, really. Either way, Yami arrives just in time and tells Kaiba that if he would deny this, he would be denying his destiny. Like, Kaiba's like, I didn't think you'd show up. I thought you'd kind of just want to cry and be with your little best buddy there. Or dead friend in the manga.
In the sub, Kaiba has a line about why the rest of the friendship squad isn't there. And he said, what, was Jonochi's coffin too heavy?
Yeah, that's what he says in the manga, too. He, like, talks some shit on the dead. Or supposed dead, I guess. As the match is about to get underway, Kaiba makes a crack about Joey being out of commission, but Yami is quick to defend the other half of his Yujo friendship. Kaiba has being better than Yugi goggles on, and has one thing on his mind, being better than Yugi. We cut to the cheer squad waiting by Joey's bedside for him to awake, but with no luck so far. Because in the dub, he's not dead. He's in the shadows or whatever. Tristan tries to be useful and runs off to find Mokuba, and Teia's in the back of the room moping about her friends being hurt, playing a children's card game, when Shizu snaps her out of it again for a time, which I assume will be temporary. We get back to the good stuff finally as Yami and Kaiba are ready to take each other on. Kaiba calls for the epic battle between the 2 god card holders to begin. Kaiba, in all of his theatrical fashion, decides to make a virtual stage of a battle coliseum where all of the Roman Greek audience are cheering for Kaiba, like cheering his name, chanting his name.
Yep.
A little much, but I'm sure he wants an ego boost.
I have the same thing set up for when I have to make a phone call.
I just made a doctor's appointment.
The crowd goes wild.
Yami makes the opening move by summoning Queen's Knight in defense mode and a face down to end the turn. Kaiba draws into Obelisk on his first turn, and his ego grows 3 sizes in that moment. Yami wonders if Kaiba will implement the same kind of deck destruction strategy, or will he have a new battle plan for the King of Games. Kaiba plays X-Head Cannon and plays a magic card called Sanctuary, which allows him to bring, or allows both players to bring 1 magic card to their hand. Yami grabs Change of Heart, and Kaiba ends with a face down.
The card Sanctuary that Kaiba plays is called Spell Sanctuary in the sub, and Kaiba says that this card allows both players to play spell cards during their opponent's turns. So that's their justification for a lot of the back and forth moves that happen during this.
Oh, they don't do that. They don't do that at all.
Whack.
They don't justify that shit at all. I guess they never had to before, so why do it now?
Yeah, we just kind of assumed that they were doing it wrong because that's what they do.
Yeah, exactly. Tristan is probably bothering Mokuba by pestering him about the rescue chopper, but Mokuba is working very hard to help, and frankly, Tristan is being a little pushy. He even rips off Mokuba's headset and yells radio terms thinking that it will help when he is just getting in the way, like always. We cut to Serendi at Joey's side talking to him, and it seems to be getting through to Gene Joey as he hears it during his tournament in his little head. We also see Merrick washing his head and getting excited to kill Yugi again, that silly little sicko. We go back to Kaiba's arena cheer squad doing what they do best, and Kaiba just lapping it up like a dog finding its cool water on a hot day.
Or a toilet.
Or a toilet too. That has cool water if they want it. Yami takes his next turn and wonders why Kaiba didn't go for his monster when he played a stronger one. Yami moves on though and plays Alpha the Magnet Warrior in defense mode and plays another face down card to end his turn. Kaiba then activates Soul Exchange to steal Yami's monsters to sacrifice for Obelisk, but Yami activates Change of Heart, which he can't do in a real duel, but I guess the Spell Sanctuary fixes that, to steal X-Head Cannon and take away Kaiba's chance to summon his God card. Kaiba is ready for that and counters with his enemy controller magic card to bring X-Head Cannon right back to his side of the field for 1,000 life points. Kaiba is about to summon Obelisk the Tormentor in his first 2 turns, and he would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for the Meddling Pharaoh and his Life Force Sword Trap card, which stops Obelisk from being summoned for 3 turns. Yami smirks and asks, why does Kaiba want to rush the duel? It's just starting to get good. I can't help but every time I see this scene think to Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge series.
No, of course.
Did you just stab my fucking card? It's a great exchange, and I don't care.
It is weird that Pharaoh only uses Light Force Swords twice, and it's supposed to be you pick a card at random, but it was always oh, what's the card the opponent just picked up is holding above their head?
I know. He's waiting for the right moment to play the card. He was like Kaiba's about to pull Obelisk, and he just goes, Light Force Sword! He's like, right there. Oh. It's well...
I randomly picked that one.
Which is absolutely insane. After breaking the action from the cheer squad and Ishizu doing the whole side character thing of repeating lines because we need them in the show, but they aren't doing anything plot important yet, we get back to the duel. Yami gets his monsters back, and Kaiba is strategizing his victory as Yami draws for turn. Yami is unsure how to get around Kaiba just yet and hopes he can get his God card out before Kaiba can get his own out. Yami plays a face down and passes his turn. Kaiba thinks Yami is playing it safe and that it will be his downfall as he draws for his turn. We see Merrick slinking into the duel arena and pokes his head through the virtual coliseum, wondering who will be the one to summon God first. Not that it matters, as he will kill the Pharaoh in the end, no matter what.
Oh, that Merrick. He just loves being a disembodied head.
He truly does.
It's his favorite thing.
Kaiba plays Y Dragon Head and teaches Yami his ABCs, or more accurately, his XYZs.
Funny you mentioned ABCs, because I'm going to assume that a lot of the time when I reference something from the card game, you don't know it because you haven't kept up with it like I have. The XYZ stuff, which, as you and I know from GX, also got the additions of V and W, also did later get ABC.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, and so the whole archetype was just combined to A to Z. And they do, in fact, have an A to Z, super boss monster.
That's supposed to be 26 different union monsters or whatever?
I'm pretty sure the actual, boss monster that's, useful is just ABC, but I think there is, a monster that's called, A to Z super fuck you robot something.
Super fuck you robot, that's in the title. It's probably really hard to get out. It probably isn't very playable, but sounds cool.
A to Z Dragon Buster Cannon.
That sounds pretty much like what you said before.
Yep, it is a fusion of ABC Dragon Buster and XYZ Dragon Cannon. So they actually ignore the VW.
Wow, fuck them, right?
Yeah.
Kaiba unionizes his monsters to make XY Dragon Cannon and says he has the Z in the chamber to make it unstoppable.
Kaiba Corporation is not unionized.
I just think, isn't that what they're technically called, though? Union monsters?
Yes, the Union Monster is the actual thing. Pharaoh calls them magnet monsters.
Yeah, he calls them that in the manga, too.
They're like, no, that's alpha, beta, and gamma.
I think they're trying to kind of relate that to, like, Kaiba has something like that to himself, but who knows. Kaiba attacks Alpha the Magnet Warrior and destroys it. Merrick is noticing Kaiba is taking control of the duel and is enjoying it. Kaiba plays Lullaby of Obedience to take Slifer from Yami's deck. As Yami is digging into the bottom of his deck, Kaiba notices and ribs that Yami probably wouldn't have been able to draw it anyway. Kaiba gloats how he now has 2 god cards and how he is the only true wielder of the gods. The hubris on this man. Yami smirks and thanks Kaiba for drawing Slifer out for him as he plays the magic card exchange to get Slifer back from Kaiba's hand. Yami remembers how that magic card once helped him rescue Joey from Merrick's mind worms and brings the friendship spirit out of Yami and Yugi. Yami takes Slifer and Kaiba takes one of Yami's trap cards that we'll find out later. Yami gets ready for his next move as the episode ends. Getting good.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get better as we go into episode 130, which covers chapters 195 to 196. We open the episode with Yami thanking Kaiba for fishing Slifer out of the bottom of his deck for him so he could have the chance to play it. Kaiba is unworried as he has the countermeasures to stop the 3 sacrifices with his XY Dragon Cannon, and he can stall to get his god card out before. It is revealed that the card Kaiba took was called Life Shaver, which has the effect to make Yami discard cards from his hand for how many turns it is face down. That is a problem as Slifer's attack power lies in the number of cards in Yami's hand, so he could really get fucked at any point. Yami takes his turn and plays Big Shield Garda in defense mode and ends with a face down. Merrick seems to be enjoying Yami being cornered by Kaiba and is curious to see how he will get out of it. Either way, he's unbothered. As I've said before, he will be the one who beats everyone in the end, probably. Maybe not. Who knows? The gang is waiting for Tristan to be of help while they worry about Joey. Joey is still in his dream tournament and taking out duels left and right. He does, however, notice his friends are not there and the audience starts becoming weird figures, so he probably better start waking up soon. Also, I will say this as the episodes go on, they don't ever go back to this. Like, it just happens? Do they ever go back to it in the sub that I'm missing?
He goes back into the tournament, but after he finds the squad, then people have, character designs in the audience.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, did it ever go back to them just being, because I'm like, oh, like it's getting shadowy now. Like, I don't even remember this dream tournament thing he was doing. I just thought he was just unconscious until he wasn't. I mean, spoilers. Anyway.
That's how all of us are.
No.
Wake up.
Well, either way, Joey better start to wake up soon, especially now because we cut to Tristan trying to act like he's doing something while Mokuba, the young child, is making an active attempt to try and fix the situation. We then cut to Shizu, again, with an unconscious Odeon, who recollects the beginning of the arc where she meets Kaiba and finds out he finds out his connection to ancient Egypt. That was able to pad about 2 minutes of the second episode of a 6-part duel, so I'm sure it was worth it. We do learn that it is unknown how the battle between the Pharaoh and Kaiba's descendant played out and who ended up being victorious. At least that's what it said in the dub. We are back to the duel, and Kaiba takes his turn. He draws the exact card he needs to take full control of this duel. Kaiba starts by playing a face down that isn't Life Shaver, but Yami thinks that it is. Kaiba then summons Z Metal Tank and combines the 3 Union monsters to summon XYZ Dragon Cannon with a attack power of 2800. Merrick is even impressed by this as Kaiba attacks and destroys Yami's Big Shield Gardna. Kaiba starts to boast a little as he probably feels he has the upper hand, but Yami thanks Kaiba for destroying Big Shield Gardna as he was banking on that outcome so he can play a face-down card called Soul Rope. By paying 1,000 life points, Yami can pull out any 4-star monster from his deck and play it when one of his monsters is destroyed. Yami pulls out King's Knight, which has the special effect that summons Jack Knight to the field if Queen's Knight is also on the field. It's honestly, I always like those 3 cards for some reason. I just thought it was a neat little trio.
Yeah.
Now Yami has summoned 3 monsters. He is exactly what he needs to bring out Slifer. Kaiba is absolutely shocked by this turn of events as he fully had control of this duel. His rich boy privileges showing in the dub as he got mad and told Yami, "You can't play your Egyptian god card before I play mine." Yami says too bad and makes the sacrifices needed to summon his Egyptian god card, Slifer the Scribe Dragon, much to both Kaiba and Merrick's surprise. Slifer is summoned in all its cool as fuck glory.
They do play the cool Slifer music in the
It's very sick. It's like just one part of how fun this duel is. Kaiba's unfazed by this as Slifer has only 3,000 attack, but that could still destroy Kaiba's XYZ monster. I'm trying not to say XZs when I read XYZ.
Yep, that's different. We'll get there.
Someday. But it doesn't bother Kaiba one bit that this is like a danger for him. Yami starts second-guessing destroying the XYZ Dragon Cannon as he thinks Life Shaver was played. Kaiba tries to goad Yami into making the wrong move, and it seems to be really getting to our 5,000-year-old protagonist. Yami ends up going for the attack, and Kaiba reveals his face down, which is not Life Shaver, but Interdimensional Matter Transporter, to remove Kaiba's monster from play until the end of the turn, so Slifer's attack was wasted. I guess how that works is it negates the target, so it wouldn't just go directly to Kaiba.
Yes, I believe attack declaration can only be redone if a new monster is put on the field.
Huh. Slifer's attack was so strong that it was able to get the communications back online to get the chopper out to save Joey. Mokuba puts up Kaiba and Yugi's duel on all the TVs as he's done being better than Tristan. Kaiba laughs at Yami's wasted attack, but Yami says he has a plan of his own and ends his turn with a face down card, bringing Slifer attack down to 2,000. Kaiba's confused by the move, maybe because he wouldn't make his powerful monsters weaker, and he's kind of goes with the power deck strategy in this one, especially.
Classic Kaiba.
Yami tries to play mind games of his own, but Kaiba is not falling for it as he takes his turn and Obelisk is freed from the effects of Life Force Sword. Kaiba sacrifices his XYZ Dragon Cannon to bring out Obelisk the Tormentor. Obelisk descends onto the field, and now we have 2 Egyptian god cards facing each other for the first time in the series as the episode ends.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
It's crazy. Imagine if there were 3 of them.
Wow.
Imagine if they all went together at some point.
Wow.
We'll talk about that someday. It was crazy. When I wrote that, it kind of dawned on me. Yeah, this is really the first time we're seeing 2 god cards face off against each other.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? For all the talk they've been doing with it. Anyway, I'm going to go on and do my last episode, it being episode 131, which covers chapters 197 to 198. I will say, a lot of this is anime only, and this is what I meant by like they're extending a lot, because in the manga, the Egyptian god cards aren't there long. They don't do all the kind of back and forth that they do in this episode. It's very much like whatever happens at the beginning and the end. I'll kind of explain how. Kaiba is feeling confident again as the episode starts, as he just summoned his own Egyptian god monster, who is more powerful in attack strength compared to Yami's Slifer the Sky Dragon. Yami warns Kaiba that could all change, but I don't think Kaiba sees it that way. Ego? Probably. We cut to Mokuba running up the arena to support his older brother in one of the most important duels of his life, probably. In the manga, the Yugi Cheer Squad see what's happening, and I actually didn't realize this, but he does it later. Manga Tristan, who is marginally better than Tristan in the anime, helps Joey's supposed corpse up to show him the duel, and you see movement in his EKG, which alludes to Joey not being a corpse at all. In the anime, we see all of Domino City watching the duel, and we see familiar disqualified contestants Rex Raptor, Weevil Underwood, Mako Tsunami, and Esperoba, and all of Esperoba's little brothers. We cut to the cheer squad and Tristan coming to tell them a chopper is on the way, when Duke points out that there are 2 god-level monsters facing each other off in the duel arena Yami and Yugi are in.
Mr. President, a second Egyptian god monster has hit the duel tower.
I got confused for a second because I was like, wait, I just talked about Tristan being there, but I was like, oh wait, Tristan wasn't there because he's not good. Anyway, we get back to the duel, and Merrick is loving it. Kaiba calls out Yami's card in hand count with only 2 cards, so Slifer is at 2,000 attack points. Yami tells Kaiba he overlooks Slifer's second ability, which takes out 2,000 attack points from any monster that are summoned to the field. It is only temporary, but Yami has stalled Kaiba for another turn. Kaiba plays 2 face-down cards and ends his turn. Yami draws, and Slifer's attack rises, but so does Obelisk's. Yami gets around this, though, as he plays Pot of Greed, which allows him to draw 2 more cards from his deck. Now, Slifer is at 5,000 attack power. Yami calls for Slifer to attack, but Kaiba activates Command Silencer, which I guess stops Slifer's attack, but would he be affected by that? I guess?
There are a number of cards, such as Waboku or Threatening Roar, that are just no attacking cards, which we have those cards, just use those, don't make up a new one.
But either way, so basically nothing happens. In the manga, nothing really happens, but Yami doesn't play Pot of Greed. He just is too wary to attack because of Kaiba's back row. I guess that isn't as exciting, and they really need to push to make 6 episodes. Kaiba is able to draw 1 more card, though, because of the effect. Yami ends with 2 cards face down, so he's back at 3,000. So, again, basically nothing happened. Kaiba makes his move, and Yami activates Card Destruction to discard both players' hands and draw the same amount as they discarded, which kind of baffles Kaiba. After that, Yami activates Disgraceful Charity, which they must redraw the cards that they just threw out, so Yami now has 6 cards in hand. So Slifer is now at 6,000 attack points. Kaiba says even though that move helped Yami, it helped him draw the cards he needed too. Kaiba starts off by playing the spell card Thirsty for Compensation, which summons 2 monsters from his hand to the field. Kaiba chooses Soul of Sword and Blade Knight. Slifer uses its second mouth, but Kaiba plays Card Guard, which protects the monsters from the effect. Yami still tells Kaiba that they are not useful, but Kaiba knows better than that. Obelisk grabs both monsters and activates its special ability to deal 4,000 points of damage to everything on the field, including Yami's life points. Yami is out of options in the eyes of Kaiba, but alas, he was never one with the faith. As Obelisk is about to strike down our Freaky Tower protagonist, a wall of our Lord and Savior, Kuribros, bursts onto the field and protects Yami with its godly aura. There may be 3 all-powerful Egyptian god monsters, but there is only one Kuribros, the true god of this anime. After cutting back from the cheer squad looking from afar, Kaiba believes he has won the match, but the man of faith in Yami proudly professes God's power, even though a puny-minded man like Kaiba would never understand. He even talks shit on Kuribros after he stopped his supposed all-powerful monster's game-ending blow. Who fucking sucks now, Kaiba? Kaiba's pissed, but he plays a face-down card and ends his turn. Yami draws and makes Slifer's attack 6,000 and goes straight for attacking Obelisk, which would end the duel, but Kaiba has other plans. Kaiba activates Power Balance, which makes Yami discard half of the cards in his hand and has Kaiba draw 3. Obelisk is now stronger again, but Yami activates his Necromancy card, which restores 4 monsters from Kaiba's graveyard to his side of the field. In exchange, though, if any of the monsters are destroyed, the remaining monsters get weaker by 600 points. So since 4 monsters were summoned, they trigger Slifer's effect and all get destroyed by his second ability. Obelisk loses 2,400 attack power because of it, and Slifer goes in for the attack, but suddenly Obelisk's attack grows because of the Soul Sword being destroyed in that 4 monster onslaught. Now Obelisk is at 2,600 attack, and he goes for the kill, but things are not what they seem. Yami reveals he placed Electromagnetic Turtle in his graveyard thanks to Power Balance, which stops the attack from connecting. Everything from Pod Agreed on is anime only, but I do kind of see it does add somewhat more excitement, even though it's kind of just a lot of like back and forth. Kaiba's really feeling it in his nads with this one. He talks about how he's pushed to his limits whenever he faces Yugi/Yami and how that excites him. He talks about how he beat Yami in Duel's Kingdom, but to be fair, he didn't win that by dueling. He won that by having a tantrum. Kaiba takes his move and goes for Slifer, but Yami plays Spell Textbook, which makes him discard his hand but draws what he lost, and if it's a magic card, he can play it. Kaiba is stoked now that he can win the duel, but Yami needs to draw the right card and calls for Joey's support as he has his Heart of the Cards moment in drawing Card of Sanctity, which lets both duelists draw until they have 6 cards in their hand. Slifer is now at 6,000 attack, but Kaiba finally reveals the Life Shaver trap card to weaken Slifer by 2,000, so now the gods have tied attack strength, and as the attack connects, a bright light shines and engulfs the area. Kaiba is stunned that this isn't his technology at work, but Ishizu from afar reveals that this is the power of ancient Egypt revealing itself as the episode ends. So, basically what happens in the manga is Yugi plays a face down, doesn't attack, Kaiba goes in for the attack and with like Slifer being at like 2,000. What was it? It was like Slifer would have been like 3,000 and Obelisk would have been 4,000. Obelisk would have went for the attack. Yami revealed Pot of Greed to be 5,000, but Kaiba then reveals Life Shaver, but since there was only one turn, he only lost one card, so they were both at 4,000, and then everything happens. So it's a lot quicker.
Yeah, they cut out like a turn cycle.
They cut out like a couple turn cycles, I feel like. But like there's a lot of back and forth going on that anime, which I think makes it better for an anime show than a manga.
Yeah.
So I don't like criticize it. I think it's fine. I feel like it's a lot of nothing happening, but at least we get to watch the two god cards battle a little longer than just like a couple panels or like a chapter or two.
Neat.
Neat. But either way, that's just my 2 cents. And now I am done covering. It's now your time to cover.
Oh boy, time for a flashback as we go in episode 132, covering chapters 198 and 200. And by a flashback, I mean we going way back. But before that, there is a new intro in the sub. I like it.
Why do they have a new intro like this far back in? Because like they're not going to use this later.
I don't know.
It's like 6 more episodes.
Maybe it's something the animators were working on they actually enjoyed when the Noah arc was being made.
They were bored or something.
Yeah. The episode proper opens with Obelisk shoving its fist into Slifer's mouth blast, and both god cards begin to crack from the force of their combined energies. The light from their clash draws the attention of everyone looking onward, and the Millennium Rod responds to the energies by sending the Pharaoh and Kaiba into a vision of Egypt, in ruins. The city is smoldering, the sky filled with black clouds, an inverted pyramid hangs in the sky, and the bodies of Obelisk and Slifer tower above the wreckage as crumbling statues. The Pharaoh and Kaiba feel an energy from the palace and are warped inside of it, where they see the ancient priest Seto facing off with the ancient Pharaoh. Priest Seto and ancient Pharaoh summon the spirits of Blue Eyes and Dark Magician from stone tablets, and Yugi Pharaoh and present Kaiba connect the dots that this is the battle that they had seen depicted on the tablet at the museum that had been shown by Ishizu. The boys are taken out of this vision as the clash from Obelisk and Slifer in the present has ended with both gods being destroyed. Merrick on the sidelines knows the Millennium Rod did something, and he even says that the Millennium Rod implanted some memories into them, which does track with how the Millennium Rod actually works, but it is interesting that it could implant memories of their past lives.
Yeah, not just necessarily fabricated memories.
Yeah, and Priest Seto in the past did have the Millennium Rod, and he called it the Millennium Staff.
Oh, interesting, because he still calls it the Millennium Rod in the dub.
Weird.
I wonder if he says it in the manga. Hang on, let me turn a couple pages back.
Yep.
He says, the palace has collapsed, you have nothing left, you are now a naked king. The priest of the high priest of darkness conquered heaven and earth with his evil power. Your divine right, your millennium items were worthless against the power of darkness. Very good foreshadowing. And I saw something about, he says Millennium Rod and my dragon.
Weird. Both duelists decide that their present duel will be the true conclusion to their 3,000-year-old feud, because they didn't see how that flashback ended. Getting back to the dueling, Kaiba has 2,000 life points, and Pharaoh has 3,000. Kaiba continues his turn, setting one card, and then passes. Pharaoh's turn, he summons Gazelle in defense mode, but Kaiba activates his trap, Cloning, which gives him a token copy of Gazelle. Pharaoh sets one card and ends his turn. On Kaiba's turn, he activates Cost Down to reduce the number of stars of a monster in his hand, which is his Blue Eyes White Dragon, which now that it is level 6, it can be summoned with 1 tribute, which is what he uses the Clone Gazelle to do. Kaiba attacks and destroys Gazelle with Blue Eyes before ending his turn. Pharaoh activates Monster Reborn, reviving Dark Magician from the graveyard, and Kaiba figures it must have been discarded due to the effect of Life Shaver, which I was also momentarily confused as to how that got in the grave.
Yeah, that's how they kind of bring it out, or they say it in the dub too. Makes sense though.
Yeah. Man, that Pharaoh sure does love slipping Dark Magician into the graveyard to surprise you.
But he's a magician. He's got to pop out of a magical hat or something. Or what's the box? The box with the swords, and then there's, I forget the other thing.
There's the box. There's like the coffin one with like the cross on it.
Yeah, that one. That one's there.
There's a curtain.
Do you call the cylinders? Does that count, or is that just kind of?
I mean, it doesn't pop out of those.
True, Janes.
Oh, you fuck with Brick Squad?
That's a high school. That's a us high school reference that you'll never understand. I'm never explaining.
Yeah, wait for the Kuribros High School Musical spinoff.
Oh no.
We're all in this to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh. We're workshopping it.
Yeah, we'll debut in like 2028.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it. They'll put anything on off-Broadway.
I can't wait.
Pharaoh sets one card and passes. Kaiba sets a card and activates Card of Demise, which lets him draw until he has 5 cards in hand now, in exchange for having to discard his entire hand in 5 turns. He knows Pharaoh's set card will probably boost Dark Magician's power or hurt Blue Eyes, so in preparation, Kaiba summons Lord of D, which protects dragon monsters from being targeted by card effects and passes his turn. Pharaoh's turn, he summons Beta in defense mode and attacks Lord of D with Dark Magician, but Kaiba activates Magical Trick Mirror, which lets him use a spell in Pharaoh's graveyard, kind of like how Grave Robber works.
Yeah, kind of the same effect.
And he chooses Monster Reborn. The monster he brings back, which is Obelisk, which apparently has an effect I completely blocked from memory, and it never comes up ever again as far as I know, where Obelisk blocks the attack Dark Magician is putting on Lord of D, and then reflects the damage Kaiba would have taken onto Pharaoh.
So the way they kind of seem to describe it here is he was special summoned because of the rules are he can't attack with the special summon of with his Monster Reborn, but he can be in an impenetrable shield. I don't know how he can redirect the attack by resummoning himself.
I guess the damage is still the same if you take it as Dark Magician attacking a defense mode Obelisk, because it still takes 1,500 damage.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I was saying.
I guess Magical Trick Mirror may have let him redirect the attack, but it's weird. It's weird. We're not going to pretend there's a way it makes sense.
I mean, it's a god card, so you can kind of say god magic.
Yeah. Also, this isn't an effect that was ever put on any Obelisk card, as far as I know.
Good, because they're probably really broken. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not.
And there's other cards that have effects where they redirect attacks. Not important.
Nope. But it's gone.
Anyway, Kaiba's in the lead now. Episode ends. Episode 133, covering chapters 200 and 201, opens up with Tristan deciding that modern medicine is a scam, and he rips off Joey's life support equipment and hauls his limp dead body up to the window of the blimp to show him the duel.
He did this earlier in the manga, but for some reason they decided to do it now.
Joey is still in his dreamland, and he has found Dream, Yugi, Taya, and Grandpa, which I think says a lot about who he actually views as his friends.
You know what? I didn't even think about that, but that makes so much sense. There's no Tristan to be in sight, and it's perfect. It's the dream world I want.
They praise his progress in the tournament, and Joey goes back into it. His opponent, who is never named... I'm going to actually ignore a lot of my notes here, because that's not important. There's a little bit of a back and forth between Joey and his dream opponent, and
they play really
Joey
basic monsters. It's reminiscent of Duelist Kingdom, maybe even before that.
Yeah, they're even playing with Duelist Kingdom rules where you can't attack directly, there's 2,000 life points, etc.
It's so interesting. Why does he think that? But whatever.
I don't know. Anyway, the duel isn't going great for Joey, and we snap back to reality. Whoop, there goes gravity for a real duel. In the real duel, the Pharaoh sets a card and passes, and at the end of the turn, Obelisk returns to the graveyard, because he's only brought back for one turn. On Kaiba's turn, he switches Lord of D to defense mode and activates Flute of Summoning Dragon, which, with Lord of D on the field, lets him special summon 2 more dragon monsters, which are Blue Eyes, from his hand. So now he's got the whole squad.
It's a really cool, splash page, too.
Yeah, I like seeing all the Blue Eyes posted up together.
This is, I will say, Takahashi as a mangaka is, in full masterclass in this duel. Everything's paneled really well, everything flows really well, and when the big moments happen, the splash pages are really appropriate and well done.
I just looked it up because I know I've mentioned it before in the False-Bound Kingdom game. The Blue Eyes White Dragons are all named, and so I just looked up their names, which are Azrael, Ibris, and Dijbril.
Interesting, because
or Jibril.
Blue Eyes based on that one woman that we'll see in a few seasons?
Yeah, Kisara.
Yeah. You'll learn about her later, or if you don't already know about her.
White woman jump scare in your anime.
Ugh.
Joey's dream duel is ongoing and not as fun to commentate, so I'll summarize. He loses, but it's fine.
It's crazy he loses his own dream duel.
Yeah. Back in Not Fine, Kaiba attacks with all 3 Blue Eyes, and Pharaoh is told not to give up by the ghost of Joey. And when Kaiba looks across the field, he sees Red Eyes is on Pharaoh's side. Pharaoh says the Flute of Summoning Dragon allowed him to summon Red Eyes as well, and I'm here to say, no the hell, that's not how it works.
I was going to say, that's not how that works, right? I'm not misremembering that.
I double-checked, I looked it up, that's not how this works, that's not how any of this works.
Oh, the Yugi ass pool, so classic.
On the sidelines, Merrick calls Kaiba's board state weak, which is just funny to me.
Which is crazy because he has 3 blue eyes.
Your moves are weak, Kaiba. We're not fam anymore.
We never were.
Kaiba still attacks, but Pharaoh activates Magician's Selection, which negates the attack that was aimed at Dark Magician and destroys the Lord of D. Beta is destroyed by one of the Blue Eyes attacks, and Pharaoh protects Red Eyes with his set Spellbinding Circle, which lowers the attack power of the Blue Eyes that was attacking Red Eyes, so Red Eyes wins that attack instead. Kaiba curses Joey's ghost for this.
That's just crazy.
Red Eye's presence on the field has begun to resonate with Joey's heartbeat, and he begins to awaken as the episode ends.
His duelist spirit revives him. Maybe there's something to these children card games.
I know when I think about Yu-Gi-Oh, I wake up.
No, you fell asleep before we recorded.
Look, I'd already done my notes, so it was fine.
It was it was crazy when I came in this morning and like I was like finishing up what I needed to do, and I was like, oh, they just did them all last night when I left them.
Yeah, I think this is like the second time I've ever finished my notes before you. Episode 134, covering chapters 202 and 203, final stretch. Joey is awake, and he is confused as to why Mai is still unconscious since he beat Merrick. But then he is told what really happened.
Yikes.
Joey is then told about the ongoing match, and he runs out of the room to go watch it, but Taya isn't having it. She voices some very real concerns about what's happening to all the people in the tournament and how Joey should be properly examined. But this is anime, so Joey's got to go support his bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Joey drops the whole Our Battle City speech on Taya, which Pharaoh gave to her before, in regards to him and Yugi and their goals of it, which convinces her that this is what he's got to do. The whole squad runs off to go watch the match then. And also Joey does the Joey face at one point when the doctors talk about like his condition, and he calls himself Perfect Joey, which I thought was like, was that like a Cell reference?
You know what he says? He says, "Just look at these pythons, Doc." When he makes the face.
Weird.
He's so funny.
I think if someone was in like a bodybuilding competition and struck like the Joey chin pose, I think they win.
I agree.
Back in the match, the score is Pharaoh 1,500 life points, Kaiba 1,900. Kaiba sets 2 cards and passes. Pharaoh's turn, he sets 1 card, puts Red Eyes in defense mode, but Kaiba activates Final Attack Orders, which forces all monsters into attack mode, and also forces both players to choose 3 cards in their decks and send the rest to the graveyard. Kaiba chooses his cards with the intent to make the ultimate dragon, and Pharaoh figures out that that is probably what Kaiba's going to do, and chooses his cards accordingly before ending his turn. Kaiba's turn, he draws Monster Reborn and activates it, bringing his previously destroyed Blue Eyes back, then activates his set Polymerization, fusing all of his dragons together into the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Kaiba chooses now to do some exposition dumping, that although the tablet is why both of them have joined Battle City, the reasons are very different. He says that the Pharaoh is obsessed with the past, but Kaiba refuses to acknowledge it, and is using Battle City as a way to pave his future. And once he becomes champion and dual king and beats the Pharaoh, he'll finally be able to move past his feud with Yugi.
Yeah, he needs his therapy maybe more. Also, I think this is actually a cool part of the story where he's like talking about this. It's a good kind of clash of ideals because Yugi is really based in figuring out his past, but Kaiba is does not want to think about that past. He really wants to look towards the future. It's cool that those are kind of the motivations in this last kind of fight, especially with a duel of destiny.
Yeah. Mokuba's on the sidelines watching, and he has some inner concerns about if Kaiba forgets his past, he won't remember what it was like back when he used to smile.
It's like these are the moments where you see Kaiba's armor crack because he's choosing this path of just like kind of forgetting about the things that made him who he is and what did make him strong, like Mokuba. And I think that's what kind of ultimately ends the duel the way it does. That and also Yugi just kind of fucking owned him.
Yeah. Pharaoh says he's disappointed in Kaiba, having expected more of his motivations. He says that without your past, you have no future, and then activates his set, Double Spell, which lets him use the spells that Kaiba used on the last turn. He uses Monster Reborn to bring back Buster Blader, which was in the graveyard however the fuck, doesn't matter how.
I mean, probably got discarded with the rest of his deck.
Yeah. So the particulars of how don't matter. And the other card is Polymerization, which lets him fuse Buster Blader with Dark Magician to create Dark Paladin, which inherits Buster Blader's attack boosting effect for getting stronger when there are dragons on the field. They do ignore the part where it also gets it stronger for dragons in the graveyard.
It gets stronger for the dragons in the graveyard too?
Yeah, the actual Buster Blader gets 500 attack for every dragon on the field and graveyard.
But doesn't
and
do that
Kaiba likes dragons, so there's probably a ton of those in the graveyard now. He threw away his entire deck.
Does Dark Paladin have that same ability in like the card?
Yeah, that's the actual Dark Paladin.
That's crazy that they forget that or didn't want to do that. Well, obviously they didn't do that in the manga, so they had to kind of probably make that still somewhat like with the manga.
Yeah. Dark Paladin, fusion of Dark Magician and Buster Blader, must be fusion summoned. When a spell card is activated, quick effect, you can discard one card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. This card must be face up to activate and resolve this effect. Gains 500 attack for each dragon monster on the field and in the graveyard.
Kaiba would have been fucked.
Yeah. Also, Dark Paladin looks fucking rad.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dark Magician with like some like dark greenish blue tinted armor. His staff has now Buster Blader's sword on the end.
It's so cool.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I love Dark Magician designs. I really do. I'm just a sucker for them, and this is one of the best ones.
Yeah. The thing I mentioned before about Dark Paladin being like Dark Dragoon is it also has an effect to negate cards to negate or discard cards to negate effects.
Crazy. So crazy.
Yeah. Kaiba ends his turn because it's all done on Kaiba's turn because we're still able to play spell cards whenever the fuck due to Spell Sanctuary. And after Kaiba ends his turn, Pharaoh will set one card and pass because they don't have the actual Dark Paladin effect. It is currently a little bit weaker than the Ultimate Dragon. And also fusion monsters can't attack the turn they're summoned in this weird format. Kaiba's turn, and he attacks with the Ultimate Dragon. Pharaoh activates his set magic formula to strengthen Dark Paladin, but Kaiba activates Spell Absorption to have Ultimate Dragon take the attack boost that Dark Paladin would have received. The Friendship Squad arrives as Kaiba looks super normal about his impending victory, but Pharaoh drops the Uno Reverse card, revealing that he has baited Kaiba into activating Spell Absorption at this time, and activates his other set card, which is Defusion. Ultimate Dragon is forced back into its separate parts, and now that there are two more dragons on the field, Dark Paladin gets even stronger. Pharaoh ain't done though, as he activates Diffusion Wave Motion, which in exchange for 1,000 life points, lets Dark Paladin attack all of Kaiba's dragons at once. And this will take Kaiba's remaining life points out. And the episode ends right there. After Pharaoh wins.
So cool.
Yeah.
So something I wanted to talk about beforehand with as far as Joey's dream.
It was all a dream!
So when we are first introduced to Joey in the manga, he is like that Tristan is his only friend, or like his only other friend. He's been tight with Tristan. Tristan like knows more about Joey's backstory at the beginning than anyone else. So it's crazy to me that he's not in the dream with Joey after that's like been like the most established part about their two and like everything else that's already been established with them in the anime so far. So he must really not like Tristan, or he just like, wow, Yugi's a way better friend.
Well, you know, you try to bang your buddy's sister, and that's what happens.
Yep, well, fuck him.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, this duel's so cool.
This is awesome.
I love this duel. It was a treat to read. It was a treat to watch. There wasn't anything really, in my opinion, that really made me feel kind of like it dragged on too long. Maybe a flashback here and there could have been taken out, and maybe some other stuff could have been done differently. It could have been taken down, but I think it's fine the way it is, and I wouldn't really change too much. The battle between the two gods is very, very fun to watch, and seeing, because the back and forth kind of reminds me of how the beginning of their first duel went, where like they were literally trading blows like they were masters of it, and it just seemed so exciting. It really felt like a punch kick anime in card format, and this is where it kind of shined through here. And then the end with a more modernized Dark Magician, Blue Eyes White Dragon showdown in Ultimate Dragon and Dark Paladin, I think really kind of like pushed it over the edge of epicness for me. Like they made it their own, and everything kind of works in the story, and it is just, I don't know, really well done.
I think if the abridged series were to be made by us, I would have had it so at this moment, Kaiba would have walked to the edge of the duel tower and told Pharaoh that if he uses Diffusion Wave Motion, he'll get blasted off.
It worked once. I'll do it fucking again.
And then Pharaoh does it.
Yeah, because it's still the same cold, heartless Pharaoh from the abridged series.
Yeah.
Sorry, little Kuribros. But yeah, I don't know. There's not much I can say. Is there anything else you have to really talk about with it, or is there any words or wisdom you want to put down on the audience of it with it?
This was a 6-parter. We actually knocked out our recording time shorter than I was expecting. The episodes cruise along really well. There are a lot of flashbacks, which is why I think it could have been reduced to 5 episodes, but I think it's all pretty good.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of complain about this. There's not much I really have to say negative.
Also, the Dream Joey stuff didn't need to happen.
No, but if they're trying to make it 6 parts and that's what they're trying to do to make Joey wake up, I'm fine with it. I would have been more okay with him winning and then waking up or something. That would feel like it makes more sense, but whatever. I don't really care. It's done, and I still enjoyed it more than that. Or I enjoyed
in the sub also, Joey's dream duel opponent kept calling him bro at the end of every sentence.
I love that. There's some interesting stuff in like the ad libs of these dubs that I kind of find fun. But we're actually going to move on to anime only stuff because they don't do the bronze match in the manga. They just go straight to the final match. So we're going to take a little filler break for the next episode and watch Joey and Kaiba face off each other and see who wins in that one.
Yeah, the rematch we've all been waiting for.
Kaiba will be down 1 Egyptian God card, so he's now on level playing field with Joey. I can't wait to see how he fucks it up.
Oof.
But that's really it for me. That's all my thoughts. Do you have any more thoughts?
God, I wish I had thoughts.
I can't think anymore. All right, well, do you want to do your socials then?
Sure, you can find me on twitch.tv/PhoenixFarce and youtube.com/PhoenixFarce. Do casual gameplay of mostly virtual card games, mostly just Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Should really do MTG Arena again. I am done with Marvel Snap.
Really?
They did some
bad?
Yeah, it was neat, but after I didn't like how they had a lot of their business practice going on. It felt very fear of missing out. You got to do it now. You got to spend real money if you want to be able to keep up with all the new cards they do. And I was like, I don't want to support this.
I hear they went to the Overwatch market with
Marvel Rivals,
yep.
Which is a whole different thing.
Yep, that's
different game.
Apparently, the one of the high execs, I think it's like the ex-president or something for Blizzard, called it the Overwatch clone, and then had to delete it because I think it said the Black Widow was copying I forget the character's name, but those Widowmaker, yeah, and then the community note on Twitter was like, no, Black Widow's been around longer.
Yeah.
So it was really.
And if you really want to see a Overwatch clone, there's a anime Overwatch shooter called Stranova, and the maps of that game are literally like 1-to-1s of Overwatch maps.
Oh no. Either way. So all right, well that's you. Me is at Instagram at apapasergi, PAPPASERGI. Art, music, whatever else, and you can check out my band, Punctured. There's a link in that on my Instagram, and then you can find us Kuribros on Instagram, the _ Kuribros on Twitter. Maybe we will do Blue Sky instead of Twitter someday. Who knows? I'll just make the decision when I want to. And we're also on YouTube, where you can find all our episodes there. But anyway, I will be signing off now. My name's Andy.
I'm Phoenix.
Giddy up and Kaiba.
I'm your daddy, Kaiba.